Hi team, today's agenda we will see how we can create disbursement, MEL and co-funder details. So to create a disbursement, what you need to do, you need to click on the funding request tab. So you need to open the funding request for which you want to create the disbursement. As I have opened a funding request detail, you can see on my screen. So I want to create a disbursement respective with this funding request. So you can see we have requested amount 2000 rupees irrespective with this funding request. And also I have awarded amount 2000 rupees. So I want to create a disbursement respective with this funding request. So to create a disbursement respective with this funding request, you need to click on the create disbursement button. You can see. So I need to click on create disbursement button. So once I click on create disbursement button, I will see all the details like number of disbursement, internal, period, amount and first date. So I just want to pay 2000 rupees. I just want to create a disbursement of 2000 rupees. Number of disbursement you can see I can just make it 2, I can just make it 3, but for now I am just make it 1. You can see period like week, month or year. So I'm going to click on calculate. So you can see the schedule date we have and the amount which we are going to create the disbursement. So I need to click on save button. So once I click on the save button, disbursement has been created. If you want to see the disbursement detail respective with this funding request, so we have disbursement tab. We have added related disbursement tab here. So you can see we have one disbursement respective with this funding request. So you need to click on this disbursement. So once you click on this disbursement, it will redirect you to the disbursement tab where you can see all the details like amount. You can see the status. What is the status of this disbursement? It is a pick list value. You can go and check. You can see the schedule date we have here. You can see the type. So all the details value, all the fields value we have. Also you can see we have a organization like for which organization it is related with. And you can see we have a funding request field as well. So this disbursement is related with this funding request. So that is how you can create the disbursement respective with the funding request. Or either if you want to create the disbursement, there is one another way. So you need to click on funding request tab and then you can see the disbursement related tab we have. So you need to click on disbursement and it will show you how many disbursement we have with this funding request. If you want to create more, so what you need to do, you need to click on new. So once you click on new, so you can create a disbursement and the funding request field value will be populate automatically. You can select the values of status. If you want to make it pending approval, you can make it pending approval. If you want to make it type initial, so you can make it initial, final, anything. And if you want to choose the receipt status, you can select from here receipt by email. It is all up to you, like what kind of details or what kind of data you want to put into the Salesforce. So you can select it from here. So that is how you can create the disbursement as well. Also, you can create the disbursement by clicking on the disbursement tab. So once you click on the disbursement tab, so you can see we have a new button here. So you need to click on new button. So once you click on new button, it will ask you for which funding request you want to make this disbursement. Here we can see. So you need to give the funding request name. You cannot leave it blank because disbursement will be created irrespective with the funding request. Suppose I'm leaving it blank and I'm entering the value in a amount field and the status. I'm going to select this and I'm going to click on save. I will get an error message because funding request is a mandatory field over the disbursement. So while creating the disbursement via the disbursement tab, so you need to manually select the funding request value. So the best approach or best practice to create a disbursement via the funding request, where you no need to type the funding request detail, funding request name manually. So that is how you can create a disbursement. And now I'm going to tell you how we can create the MEL. So to create an MEL, you need to click on the MEL tab and then you need to click on new. So once you click on new, it will ask you the requirement name. So I'm just entering document for the testing and reporting frequency. It will ask you, you can make it monthly, quarterly, half yearly or yearly. I'm just selecting yearly and you can choose the type. It is review, panel review, contract, report, outcome. So you can make it, you can select it, or either in a status field I'm going to select open. These all are the pick list field, so you can select as per your convenience. And a funding request, for which funding request you want to create the MEL. Here again you need to select the re- funding request value, funding request name. So if funding request name is not here, so you can go and create the funding request from here as well. And then you need to click on save. That is how we can create the MEL. If you want to link this MEL with some funding request, so what you need to do, there's a best way to create the MEL respective with the funding request. So you need to click on the funding request tab and then you need to open any record. Suppose I'm going to open this record and I want to create the MEL record respective with this funding request. So we have related tab here with the name of MEL. So you need to click on this tab and then you can see we have a new button. So you need to click on new button. So once you click on new button, it will redirect you to the MEL record creation page where you can see funding request value is automatically there because we are going to link funding request with the MEL. So that is how you can go and create the MEL respective with the funding request. And now I'm going to tell you how we can create the co-funder details. So to create a co-funder details, if you want to create the co-funder details irrespective with the funding request, again you need to click on the funding request tab and you need to open any kind of record and then you can see we have related tab co-funder details. So you need to click on co-funder details and then you need to click on new. So now you can see funding request field value is automatically populated. Here what you need to do, you need to select the co-funder which is linked. That means you need to select the organization. So I'm going to select the organization. If organization is not listed in the list, you can go and create a new organization here. So again, it will ask you the record type, for which record type you want to create the organization. Right now, I'm just selecting test anchor organization, and the amount I'm just selecting 100 rupees, and I'm going to click on save. So you can see co-funder records, co-funder details has been linked with this funding request. So for this funding request, this organization has paid 100 rupees, 100 euro. So that is how we can create the co-funder details, or we can create the co-funder details via clicking on the co-funder tab. So once I click on co-funder details tab, so I need to click on new button. Here we will not get the funding request detail automatically. We will need to select the values manually. So I'm going to select Aparna Water project, and the organization I need to select, I'm just going to select it here, and the amount I'm just going to select it here. Then I'm going to click on save. So this co-funder details will be linked with this funding request. So once I'm going to click on this funding request, it will redirect me to the funding request tab. And then I can see the details of the co-funder. So if I click on the co-funder, you can see the co-funder details is listed with this funding request. So if I click on this co-funder details, it will redirect me to the co-funder details. So that is how we can link MEL disbursement co-funder with the funding request, or that is how we can create disbursement MEL co-funder records separately. Thank you so much.